Hey guys, I'm Comire and is that a Nido Queen? Hey dude, you've got a YouTube video to... these Gen 1ers, they go crazy for the original 150 Pokemon. And to be fair, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee is Pokemon doing something crazy for them. But is it really for them? This is Start and Select, and I want to work out who exactly Pokemon is for. The original fans or the modern ones? The story goes when a young boy or girl reaches the age of 10, they may go collect their first Pokemon, a pocket-sized monster of untold potential and power. They'll then travel the lands, collect more of these creatures, outwit fellow Pokemon trainers in battle, and become the hero and legend that is a Pokemon master. I was around 10 years old myself when this story was told to me for a couple video games, a stack of trading cards, and a cartoon that would regularly display fairly aggressive attempts at romantic conquest. It was a different time. My generation was exactly the target audience when Pokemon first leapt out of Japan in the late 90s. It brought an adventure you could invest yourself in, a bunch of crazy monsters to pick your favourite from, and a challenge to catch them all. Immediately, it became the cultural identity of hundreds of thousands of kids out there, alongside eating Monster Munch crisps and writing boobs upside down on a calculator. Eventually, the almost 10-year-olds would grow to be almost 30-year-olds who would harbour a special connection and a strong ownership over the franchise. But when newer entries in the series recycle the same story elements, or go even more cartoony with the art style, or make another goddamn Pikachu every 2.5 years, you start to realise something. Pokemon may not have been made for you, but for anyone who happens to be 10 years old when a new one comes out. But now it's not just 10-year-olds. Since its inception, Pokemon has seen interest from a more modern audience. Pokemon Go in 2016 created a storm in mobile gaming so big, everyone was either reclaiming a gym that happened to be a public toilet, or pushing past hobos and dumpsters trying to catch more Pikachu to grind into candy. That modern mobile audience is used to playing in quicker bursts, enjoying a fun and meaningful challenge in a short session. Whereas some die-hard millennials, on the other hand, are happy putting hundreds of hours into their Charizard while hating anyone who uses the term lit to describe anything other than a fire or a light bulb. So, how do you satisfy the original fanbase while attracting players from a game so popular it's been recognised throughout time and space?
Isn't it? Yes, I created a distraction. I flooded downstairs with Pokemon.
Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. A pair of games that reimagine the first generation of Pokemon with more punctuation marks than a high school English exam. Modern players now have the chance to experience the events of Pokemon Yellow, but with up-to-date graphics serving as the rose-tinted glasses that 90s kids have been wearing for the last 20 years now. You know, rather than a screen that looks like how your uncle thinks computer viruses work. For original fans, Pokemon Let's Go has all the nostalgia of strolling through well-known settings and getting reacquainted with 151 old friends while listening to a Pallet Town theme that's been remade for a 4th time. However, going from a small Game Boy to a widescreen TV, it's literally like the game itself has evolved. Where before you'd have to imagine a Venusaur using an 8-bit approximation of some kind of angry plant monster, now with current technology, we can see Venusaur in all its glory as a fully 3D angry plant monster. But even though it may look like they've just taken Pokemon Yellow and added some shiny new characters with anime eyes bigger than the school education they'll never receive, there have been a few changes under the hood. Pokemon Go made players catch wild Pokemon straight away rather than battling them first. This is being carried over to Pokemon Let's Go by flicking the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons or the custom-made Poké Ball Plus, mimicking the swipe on a smartphone. Adding a physical action to gameplay is something kids especially would love. And even though there's an easy joke about shaking your Joy-Con while keeping a firm grip on your Pokeballs, I've been advised not to make it. There are some other notable changes that I think have been made with modern players in mind. For example, there's been a co-op mode added, which allows you to bring in a friend to help you take on all the battles in the game 2 vs 1. but they've removed Pokemon holding items and Pokemon abilities. The Pokemon box can be accessed from the player's bag, rather than a PC in the Pokemon Center, which essentially means that at any one point in time, you don't just have a team of 6, but a team of all the Pokemon you have ever caught. But also, similar to Pokemon Yellow, the daycare center doesn't take 2 Pokemon, which I guess makes sense. I mean, if you're spending most of your time literally tossing off balls, I don't think you'll be breeding much anyway. I couldn't help myself. Pokemon has had a history of adding features and shifting the mechanics to try and keep things interesting for the original fans. Things like Mega Evolutions, newer attacks, different battle types. Fighting a horde of Spinder is like watching a team of drunk synchronized gymnasts fail the qualification round. Not to say they've all been outstanding ideas. Gender differences, silly evolution methods, giving that dog a haircut. The well of inane Pokemon ideas definitely runs deep, but ultimately you only need to look at how they've made it possible to transfer your Pokemon with you through every main game since 2002 to see that they clearly want their original fans to stay with this franchise. That and hosting multiple online and international tournaments that bring players together, with cash prizes and expenses paid trips. This is the kind of care and attention that competitive Smash players beg for, and Star Wars fans think they deserve. Pokemon Let's Go has combined a look and feel recognisable to the modern Pokemon Go audience with elements from the main series for original audiences. Things like Pokemon Sun and Moon's Alolan forms being transferable from Go to Let's Go, or Mega Evolutions, which originated in Pokemon X and Y, now being introduced to those mobile players on Switch. Sun and Moon also replaced traditional HMs with special Pokemon, a practice that is now being replicated again with your Let's Go partner performing secret techniques to get around. Because in a world where a sentient keychain exists for the second time, giving a Tamagotchi a surfboard seems like a fairly reasonable thing to do. In just under 2 years, Pokemon Go was downloaded 800 million times. If even 1% of those downloads get this game, that might just outnumber the amount of sexy monster girls blowing up my timeline right now. By combining the fan bases under a renewed love for Pokemon, we can end this generational divide and leave it in history with some of the great civil wars of our time. Cat vs Iron Man, Edward vs Jacob, Angelina vs Jen. After being sold Pokemon Story all those years ago, I was convinced I could save the world from a global terrorist organization, and all I needed to do was tame a dragon. Pokemon Go sold the fantasy of going out and catching Pokemon in real life. And in Pokemon Let's Go, they literally crawl out of the tall grass. You can see them, walk around them, ride them. Where captured imagination turned into unapologetic nostalgia, it's now become a desire to discover and collect and become the very best, like no one ever was. Although come on, Splishy Splash, I mean, what's up with that? So before we wrap this up, this video's Comire content comes from Colton Williams, whose favourite Pokemon collab was the Pokemon themed Splatoon Splatfest. Splatoon and Pokemon are some of my favourite games too, Colton. I think they're the only places that a grown man can use a water gun without concerned parents hurrying their kids back into their homes. So, I want y'all to tell me which game you're going for with Pokemon Let's Go. Are you Team Pikachu or Team Eevee? Team Electric Rat or Team Nintendo sick metaphor for split personality disorder? Let me know down below or chuck me a tweet. But for now, I've been Comire, this has been Stardom Select, thank you, and good night. Sure, the Declaration of Independence liberated a nation. Okay, the Great Gatsby examined the folly ideals of the American dream. I know, the Dark Knight allegorized humanity's need for a god figure in the face of a flawed moral compass. But did any of those rhyme Dugong with Rhydon? I don't think so.